Now let's go ahead and do this last quest to wrap up Abyssos. Truth Imperfect. Lahabrea is looking at Eric with concern. I feel no trace of Hephaistos' poison in your mind, and for a blessing, it appears your body is none worse for wear. I made my way here as soon as I could. I no longer sense Hephaistos, and the force assailing Pandæmonium's barriers has ceased. Are we rid of him for good and all? Yeah, well, there's another leg of this, so I don't think we're done with this whole plot. I see. Despite his muddled senses, Eric felt that to seal Hephaistos away was the proper course. It wasn't so noble as that. I only knew something had to be done, so I acted. Lahabrea, was that how you dealt with Hephaistos in the past? Indeed. He was naught but the parts of my memory and soul that I had cut away. A mass of ether without a material vessel. Storing his essence within the crystal was the most logical choice. On that matter, I believe the time has come for you to share the rest of your tale, on Hephaistos' creation and Athena's end. I heard your words, but only vaguely, as if under the surface of a deep pool. My mother wished to use me? I would hear the whole truth. I want to know what happened here, and what drove Athena to act as she did. I'm ready. Athena's brilliance outshone us all. Even the other members of the Words of Lahabrea were as children in comparison. So dedicated to research was she that it was not unheard of her to forget meals or even sleep. Sounds like she fit right in at Charlian. Her mind was ever grasping for knowledge, and it was in this endless search that she became obsessed with uncovering the secrets of life. You see, while we can conceive life in various forms, the means of creating a soul are beyond our ken. Similarly, though we can enhance and alter our physical vessels, we have ever been bound to them. Athena's purpose was to shatter these limitations. Such limitations as we were not meant to surpass. She sought to enter the realm of the gods. Scarce few have the ability to comprehend what such a task entails, let alone the courage to attempt it. For most, the thought would be an idle fancy, considered once and then discarded. Not so for Athena. As leader of the Words of Lahabrea, I spoke with her often about transcending our being. From an academic perspective, the challenge has plagued countless researchers through the ages. It was during these musings that I began to formulate a theory. A means by which a person could meld with a creation. The weaknesses of one would be mitigated by the strengths of the other, and the results could be something greater than we have ever imagined. Although it was but a theory, Athena insisted I develop it further, curious about every detail along the way. Our conversations became more frequent, and our platonic relationship grew into something much more. I take it I was born not soon after. Not exactly. He probably is one of those melding things that they were talking about. Oh, okay, never mind. That would have been a little more interesting. Just so. I believed she bore true affection for me, and was blind to her hidden intentions. When Pandæmonium was built, and she requested to lead the researchers, I saw no reason to deny her. Even setting aside our relationship, her accomplishments as a scholar made her the obvious choice. However, In giving her Pandæmonium, I also gave her free rein to conduct whatsoever experiments she devised. Well, that doesn't sound good. And when you found out what she was doing, you killed her. I made haste to Pandæmonium the moment I learned of these hidden chambers. I left Abyssos to keep watch from Tartarus's vestibule as I ventured deeper, knowing not what would await me. As for what occurred next, 'tis best you see with your own eyes. Oh, I guess we're gonna do that memory thing that, what's-her-name did. Is that me? You are well aware that out of respect for our neighbors in Elpis, the researchers of Pandæmonium are not to be masked. Yet you stand before me with your face covered. What petty defiance is this? But indeed, so quick are you to rebuke me, though you yourself have not set foot in these halls since their inception. You must know you could not conceal this from myself or Abyssos forever, as well you know that I cannot allow you to continue. I shall say this but once. Release Eric, else I shall have no choice but to strike you down. I would meet my end at the hands of none other. However, ere my time is come, I will have you know the why of it. Then you will not desist. Once you understand what has driven me this far, you shall see that stopping was never an option. The feelings of one weigh little against the needs of the entire star. Of course, of that I'm well aware. But you did not deign to descend from your lofty heights simply to lecture me as that you would a child. You have an interest in my motivations. What possessed Athena, peerless researcher and mother to the son of the great Lahabrea, to embark upon the path to her downfall? History will demand an answer, but it is you who deserves one. Give me... Oh, come on, I didn't finish that. Impossible. You bonded your souls? Aye. That the boundaries between us would cease to be. She offered me everything. To be understood. I found myself unable to refuse. At that moment, my mind was a storm of questions, yet one roared loudest. Did Athena ever truly love me? Lahabrea, please. Aren't you supposed to be a man of cold logic? I am become the memory and mind. And I thee. So wait, is Hephaistos actually like Athena? And that's the part of him he tried to cast off? Can you feel it? My heart, all that I am. Yes, as if it were my own. A fathomless desire to dissect the mysteries of life, to transcend our mortal flesh and bleed into a higher plane of existence. An unquenchable thirst for knowledge, not a single thought spared for another, for the star. How disappointing. Yet, what is known cannot be unknown. You have beheld my life's work. Try as you might to excise the memory, the seed of desire remains, and when it takes root, you too shall be consumed by the self-same fervor. I will dig it out. I will dispense with the corruption in my soul ere your rotten insight spreads. "'Twas my weakness that let this wickedness fester, but never again. Today I cast aside fickle emotion, and today I renounce all that I was, and live only as Lahabrea. Interesting. And that's why he sold cold and calculated? Thus did I forsake the part of myself that had been polluted by Athena, sealing it within a crystal. Never did I think I would one day face those memories made flesh. Forgive my bluntness, but your actions bordered on insanity. To go on such lengths to escape your memories. You nearly rewrote your very existence. Rest assured, the change did not go unnoticed by our colleagues in the convocation. Iggy and Emmett Selk in particular made plain the suspicions they harbored. I forget which one Iggy is. As well they should have. That you escaped with your life was nothing short of a miracle. Why didn't you destroy the crystal then and there? Did you think that one day make use of the knowledge that it contained? I will not deny such considerations played into my decision, but my main motivation was fear. I had never attempted such a feat before. The crystal was my sole resource should something go awry with the remainder of my soul. In hindsight, to cling to it was a mistake born of doubt. Athena must have anticipated that I would resort to such measures, and prepared a vessel beforehand that would accept the dregs of my soul. Hephaistos doubtless believed he was performing his duty as a husband and father should, yet in truth, he was but a puppet being polluted to and fro by Athena's desires. His goal was not to raise himself high. He thought only of seeing his dear Athena live again, that she might finish what she began. Yet, for all of that, he and I were alike. We yet shared a fatal flaw. You see, our need for control blinded us to our perspectives. While I was enthralled to Hephaistos, you called out to me. What say you now? Does Lahabrea speak true? Well, probably. I don't know. he did promise. Yes, and now it's your turn to do the same. What does your heart tell you? I just want to know one thing. Did you truly believe that hiding the truth was best for me, even knowing how I felt about my mother? The Lahabrea I know had a fatal flaw after all. I'm still not convinced. I've said all that I can say. Now it is for you to choose to believe me, or not. The Lahabrea I know holds duty above all else. I would sooner prostrate myself before an erupting volcano than place my fickle emotions in his path. When you return to the surface, you'll doubtless don that mask once more. So before we climb out of this forsaken pit, I suppose I should say... Thank you, Hephaistos. Well, nothing like a bit of father-son bonding. Talk to each of them. Hephaistos was far more than an imitation of Lahabrea. He was quite literally a part of him. Yeah, we established that. But Lahabrea, to me, is a man who thinks of naught but his duty. By casting aside the burden that Hephaistos represented, he shall become ever more himself, in a way. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I've said all that need to be said. From this moment forward, I pledge that my heart shall not lead me astray. I've heard enough. There is more I would yet discuss, but we should first return to Pandæmonium's gates. I'll gather my thoughts on the way. Alright, let's head back out to the gates. This is interesting, but I do want this to be done since we wasted so much time in queues today. Well, let's go and talk to Themis and Lahabrea again. We have regained complete control of the facility, but it shall take some time yet until things are in working order again. Athena viewed Eric as the ideal test subject. Hephaistos' research must have been very nearly complete to seek him out like he did. I owe you an apology, Brillian. It was due to my own inexperience that Hephaistos was so easily able to take hold of my mind. I also owe you thanks. If you and Themis hadn't chosen to brave the chaos occurring in Pandæmonium, then I would have never known Lahabrea's story, my father's story. 'Twas a tale I too was fascinated to hear. I very much look forward to speaking with Azim upon my return. I cannot help but wonder how much of this she foresaw. I'm afraid I cannot allow that, Abyssos. So long as you retain control of Pandæmonium, there's work to be done. But of course, I shall first free the remaining warders and restore this place to its former glory. Using the facilities in Tartaros, we should be able to reverse the changes made to their bodies and minds. I shall stay behind to oversee the process. That is well, but I must yet learn why I was considered the key to Hephaistos' experiments, and how he intended to revive Athena. Such questions are left unanswered. In fact, I forbid the pursuit of that knowledge. The boundary between man and creation shall never again be crossed. and I intend to destroy the crystal containing Hephaistos' essence, that this mistake never again repeats. I see no reason to gainsay your judgment. There is yet the matter of your crystal, however. Truth be told, I had not considered its origin until I saw the one containing Hephaistos' ether. I was struck by how wholly different they were. That's right, we still got the original crystal, which I think was like a bluish color. There is oh, I just realized it's probably Athena. Because of the blue eyes. Okay, let's just continue. There is another. While imbuing a crystal with memories is a simple process, storing a message, a warning even, would be something altogether more complex. This also means that someone besides the present company and Azem was aware of the plot unfolding within Pandæmonium. Then why would they not make themselves known even now? No threats remain. Are you sure about that, Eric? Perhaps it was one of the other warders. We shall question them after they are freed. That task may take some time. A resource I'd rather not steal more of from you. Return at your leisure, and we shall share our results then. We've done more than enough for the time being. I am of the same mind. Leave the loose ends to us, and continue upon your journey. Or, if you're so inclined, take a much-needed repose. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. This talk of journeys smacks of Azem. As well it should. She has pledged to keep moving until she has seen every corner of the world. If you do find yourself with a spare moment, you might bring the crystal of yours to Lahabrea. You may be able to offer further insight. Until then, my friend. Okay, so now we gotta go back to Labyrinthos to wrap this up? Probably. Let's talk to each one of them, and then, yeah, we gotta return to Aporia. I look forward to you returning with the crystal, but worry not. I should try my level best to stave off loneliness while you are gone. As you may have noticed during our battle, Lahabrea's mask crowns me when I've transformed. It is said that we manifest in a way that reflects our innermost selves. I had thought that mask a symbol of the chains that bound my heart, but recent events has caused me to reconsider that assumption. Interesting. The crystal that hangs from Eric's waist was a gift from me, made in the hopes that it would spark growth in his aptitude for magic. 'Tis plain he no longer requires it, but I see no reason he cannot wear it for a while longer. Okay, let's head back. Let's head over to Aporia and wrap this up. Alright, let's head inside. And who are we going to talk to again? Because the other guy is gone for the most moment. Oh, wait, no. Is this the... No, this is the elf guy, one of the assistants. Why, if it isn't brilliant. Excuse me if I'm not my usual chipper self, but we have not been without our difficulties in your absence. Oh no, this is the actual, professor. Or lab guy. You see, communication with the airship. Oh no, that is, okay, this is the, one of the assistants. You see, communication with the airship Professor Claudian commissioned for his research was lost some time ago, and now we've quite lost track of where he might be. Well, that's not good. I need that crystal. And to make matters worse, Nemgigi has just sent word of an unusually large amount of energy coming from somewhere within the ethereal sea. Oh no. I was just about on my way to the telescope. A tioscope. In fact, please, you must come with me. Oh, come on, I want to be done with this. I'm really tired. What? Why is Pandæmonium here? What is that? Is it real? Why is it that whenever danger visits this world, you are never far behind? Okay, daddy. Another daddy figure here. And you two, Professor Claudian's assistants, I take it. As you arrived before me, I take it you were involved in this. I would thank you to furnish me with an explanation. I don't know, it just appeared, bro. Well, that's a Pandæmonium. While the research summary you submitted to the forum gave us no cause for concern, these details are alarming. The professor's last message indicated he was on his way to Az's Law, but we know not whether he ever reached his destination. A rash endeavor, even for Claudian, but he has ever allowed the thrill of discovery to cloud his better judgment. Somehow I feel like we've heard this before. We have no recourse but to entreat Ishgard's aid in searching for him. As for the unsightly fortress which materialized in the ethereal sea, Pandæmonium, was it? It cannot be left alone. Well, I'll go on in there. For the time being, information regarding this matter must be strictly controlled so as to minimize panic. We will gather those with knowledge of the ethereal sea and continue monitoring it for further irregularities. You two, submit a detailed report to the forum at once. At present, we have 4 more questions than answers. Nevertheless, I would ask for your assistance at such a time that our investigation has concluded. Very good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must apprise the forum of what has occurred here. How are you going to inform of what has occurred here when we have no idea what's going on? Anyway. Let's wrap this up. Just when we need him most, Professor Claudian remains unaccounted for. He even brought the crystal with him. We are left with scarce few straws to grasp at. While I am but a lowly assistant, even I can see that our 2 current problems are likely related. The same party or phenomenon may be responsible for both. Conversely, I see now that my unexperienced imagination failed to do Pandæmonium's pitiless spires justice. I can only wonder, if the facility itself traveled the ages, did the creations within them do the same? What of the keywords? But answers to these questions shall come in time, I am sure. For now, I must do all as Master Fortunold asked and write that report. As for you, Brilliant, pray get what rest your responsibilities will allow. When next we call upon you, I wager we shall need you in prime condition. Oh, I bet. Nope, let's grab the probably skill speed.